Hi, this is John Longstreet. I'm here with another edition of PRLA Short Takes, and I'm delighted to have with me today one of the most popular speakers that ever presented at a PRLA conference, Meridith Elliott Powell. Scored the only 5 out of 5 perfect score of all the speakers we've ever had. And she would have been with us almost today on June 8th for the annual Leadership Forum, which will be rescheduled, but unfortunately we're not having the forum on this date. So instead, you get to see Meridith on video today. Meridith is one of the top experts on leadership and business growth in the country. I sometimes think she's the #1 expert on it. And I'm happy to have with me today Meridith Elliott Powell. Meridith, great to have you with us today.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I do need to note June 8th also happens to be my birthday as well. So there's a lot going on that day.
A very special day, except for the Leadership Forum being postponed.
Yes.
That said, Meridith, a big part of what you do, besides being a noted keynote speaker, is that you help people with leadership development and growing their business. Mm-hmm. Obviously, things have changed since this crisis started back in March. And I imagine that your business model has pivoted because of that. What are you doing these days to help your customers?
Yeah, I mean, probably like so many people. The last very time I was on stage was March the 10th. I stood on stage in front of hundreds of people and then took a plane home. And then in a matter of a week, my calendar was completely gone. So I really had to pivot really immediately. I mean, #1, the very first thing that I did was realize that my customers were going through some pretty big pain points, and I better change my products and services to respond to those pain points. I mean, I think the first phase we went through was helping people stabilize their business, just making sure that they could get through the next couple of months. Now I'm really working with clients trying to figure out how to grow their businesses. But the biggest thing that I did that I really think helped me pivot my business was I just started calling every customer I had serviced for the last 4 or 5 years. I know that I had reached out to you and said, tell me how it's going, what's going on with you. And it's from there that I really learned the products and services that my customers needed. And I was able to go back and adjust my business model to be successful.
Meridith, I also noticed that you're putting out some special editions, if you will, of your website. And I don't know whether you call it a blog, but some really good articles to try to deal with this crisis. How can the people that are watching this access that?
Yeah, one of the first things that I wanted to do was really serve my customers and anybody else that needed help. And what I noticed was that people would call me with questions. So every question that I got from somebody, I created a website called Emerge Successful. So if you go to my website, which is valuespeaker.com, just the words valuespeaker.com, you'll see a purple bar at the top. And that bar says Emerge Successful. If you click on that, it is full of scripts. It is full of videos. It is full of blogs and articles. And quite frankly, I think everything you need to know to really go through all 3 phases of this crisis. Stabilize the business, grow in a crisis, and ultimately transform your business to what it needs to be when this crisis is over.
I think you've just answered the question, but every time there is a crisis, something good has to come out of it. If good doesn't come out of bad, that's a real disaster. And what is the one piece of advice you're giving to your clients in looking at this crisis so that they can make sure that they turn these lemons into lemonade?
Yeah, the biggest piece of advice that I'm giving to people right now is you've got to figure out what's going to make your business relevant. And the way to figure out how to make your business relevant is to talk to your customers. Here's what's going to happen. If you talk to them, #1, they are going to be loyal to you. #2, you are going to ensure they understand you are still here and still alive and they won't go someplace else for the services. But #3, they are going to give you the biggest gift you need right now. And the biggest gift you need right now is the language and the information of exactly how to make your products and services relevant in today's marketplace. Sure. If you can repackage what you do into the language that your customers need, you're going to grow in the middle of this crisis.
I think that's not only great advice for all the people that are watching this, but it's great advice for PRLA. And we've been trying to figure out what we're going to be, the new PRLA. We've got a lot of plans, but I know we could get a lot from you too. So Meridith, of course, in addition to being a noted speaker and a consultant, You're also an author, and I know you write great books, and I think you have your second one about ready to come out. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, so I just published one called Who Comes Next? Leadership Succession Made Easy for all of us who need to build leadership succession throughout our organization. But I am most excited about the book that I have coming out in the fall called Thrive, Strategies to Turn Uncertainty to Competitive Advantage. And I actually started researching this book long before the pandemic, but I actually started researching companies that have been around since the late 1700s, early 1800s. So think about that. They've come through world wars. They've come through economic depression. They've come through pandemics, and they're still in business today. And that's the methodology of how what you need to do to make uncertainty actually work for your business rather than against it.
So the book is Thrive, and it should be available when?
It should be available in September, but watch my blog, watch my website. You will see little pieces of it released a lot. And actually on my website, I've got the quick start strategy for thriving in uncertainty.
Well, excellent advice, Meredith. And as always, it's great to see you today. I'm glad you're well from Asheville, North Carolina. You visit with us today. The next time we talk, we're going to be live and in person somewhere in Pennsylvania.
I really look forward to that.
Meridith, Elliott, Powell, thanks again for being on this edition of Short Takes. That's it for today, folks, and I look forward to seeing you next time.